Welcome back to 40 I Amped. Today I'm here with Jixie, wordsmith, lyric bender. He could probably dunk on you. Nice to be here with you, man.
Nice to be here with you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate you for having me.
So, like, growing up, PG County, tell me about, like, kind of where you came from and, like, how you got into music.
Word. So PG, I grew up in Beltsville. Yeah, Beltsville. That's where I went to. That's where I spent like the first like chunk of my life. I'd say like from 2002 to 2011, I was in Beltsville. That's where I went to elementary school. Went to Vansville over there. Went to Montpelier over there. And it was cool. I mean, we lived in a neighborhood. I had 3 older sisters, and first generation, all of us. My parents having like moved here when they were like 17 and in their early 20s. So it was chill. Like it's like a lot of us being outside, riding bikes, hooping, going up the street to see whoever, hang out and shit. In the crib, playing video games, listening to music. My older sisters, like 2 of them were really good singers. Mm-hmm. So I was around music in that regard. And then going to church too, because I was born into like a Christian household. So yeah, just like a lot of music around me in general, a lot of like sonically complementing sounds that really like naturally had me involved in music even before I was like interested in it. But yeah, it was cool. I feel like that definitely had an influence as to like how I got my foot into making music and stuff. I kind of like stopped fucking with music for a little bit because my sisters used to like sing all the time. It got like so annoying. So I was just like, I hate music. It was just cap. But yeah, it was pretty chill though.
Yeah. Where are you from? Where's your family from?
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Yeah. My parents are Nigerian.
So was it a lot of like secular African music, or was it like just like more like church?
Both. Like a lot of stuff that if you were to go to Nigeria at that time, you'd probably be hearing the same things, and then a lot of like secular sounds too. But the secular sounds were more like I would relate to like black church sounds. The West African sounds were more like I don't know how to describe it. Like there's a lot of percussion. There's a lot of like spirit in both of them, I'd say. But even something like speaking in tongues, which was like a regular thing, like to go to church and then everyone's just speaking in tongues. It's like there's a lot of like spirit involved in that, just in terms of like saying something and you're not really knowing what you're saying, but like you're carrying the vibration of what it is. So it was kind of like the music kind of like was relayed to me in that way too, whereas like when I went to church with my Africans, it was like, I don't know, more dramatized and more like grand, seemed like more grand. And then the secular sounds kind of like seemed more grand as well, but grand in a different way, more like organized or like polished.
Mm-hmm. So like, I know like you were like, I wasn't really feeling music because like it was always there with the family members. Mm-hmm. But like, honestly, does the upbringing of your kind of your musical upbringing, does that speak to you now, or is it more of something else?
It speaks to me. I think it'll always speak to me. It still speaks to me. It spoke to me then in some way. Like I'm not religious anymore, but like I feel as if like growing up in the church gave me like an idea of how to complement like your vocals. Mm-hmm. Like what, like different thresholds of like how to sing, or like what is sonically appealing with octaves. Mm-hmm. Like how octaves complement each other, which is something that I still carry to this day when I listen to music, and even when I make it too. Just like what sounds good, what can I what different like tone can I take to complement this other thing that I did. So that definitely like was something that like still has a foothold on like my understanding of music today. But it's different just because it's just like I feel like I'm just deeper in my bag of like understanding or what I like to hear than I was at that time. And also like I feel like pretty much that,
You've been making music as early as like online, it'll say 2020, but I feel like based on your grasp of like rap and like the way you project your voice and all of that, I feel like it's been a little bit longer. So can you tell us about like the history?
Yeah, for sure. I've been songwriting for a minute. Like I used to, you remember Guitar Hero?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they used to, I forgot which one it was, but they had the actual guitar, and I was always going crazy on that game. But when I wasn't playing it, like I had like an interest in music. I don't know if it was a love yet, but like I was just playing around with shit to the point where I didn't have no instruments, but I had that guitar, that plastic guitar. I'll put like a rubber band, like I'll take a rubber band connected to the top, drag it all the way to the bottom where the little pedal is, and just like pretend like I'm playing something. Like even like Drake and Josh, like I always fucked with like Drake's ability to play the guitar. Like so that's just an instance of like growing up. Just me like fucking with like different things that I'm seeing like musically. But I started rapping, recording at least when I was 16, like 2016. That was my first like recorded jump. But I've been songwriting since for a while, maybe like 10 for real. Just like putting ideas together and just making songs. For real.
How do you think that like making something out of nothing, like putting that rubber band on the on the Xbox guitar,
bro.
How do you think that comes through now and like the sounds you make?
Shit.
Are you like more equipped now? Like
I'm
what do you
definitely
think?
more equipped now. Like I'm definitely more equipped now. That whole rubber band thing was just it was just like I wish I pursued it more because and I'm still gonna learn how to play the guitar, but I just really fuck with like how many different like instruments you can make singing.
It was good, bro.
How many different instruments you can, or how many different sounds you can make. You know, like with the guitar, and I didn't have access to it, so it was like I got these rubber bands and I had this fake guitar, so I started fucking around with that. I feel like I've always been the type of nigga to, if I have a feeling, I'm gonna find a kind of way to like physically and capture that or encapsulate that feeling. And that physical thing, hopefully it can like, when I interact with it, it'll give me that same feeling. So that was kind of like an example of me doing that. I still do that now. I feel like, yeah.
So like, I'm on the green line, right? And I have my headphones on. I play that new Jixie.
Type shit.
What do you think I'm feeling?
You?
Yeah.
Oh, what do I think? It depends on the song for real.
Yeah.
But in generally speaking, you're probably feeling like introspective. Like you're trying to like think about some shit. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it introspective to the level of like conscious or more like just like what do you want a soundscape by you to feel like? To encapsulate that feeling.
I want to feel like profound and meaningful. But introspective, not so much as like conscious, but like subconscious. Whereas you're paying attention to the things that are not necessarily so present to your visibility, but you have a sense of awareness of it. Like whether that be emotional, usually it is emotional. So I like to make emotionally invoked sounds and music, lyrics, anything that I create, I want it to like inspire a feeling for sure. And usually it's something that you gotta like go inside of yourself to figure out what that is. You know?
So like, how do you think your sound has developed since you first started?
It's been developing like there's not a lot of shit that, especially like songs that I've made that I didn't really like release. So the growth is like for anyone whoever like was interested in like looking at like how the progression is or is going, it's like it's not difficult to find or even to tell because like a lot of the shit that I think is like ass now that at the time like in 2016, 17, 18 that was just dropping on SoundCloud that was good for me at that point is like it's ass, and I feel like a lot of artists feel like that. But yeah, I definitely think I'm just cutting the fat, trying to like get to my point as quickly as possible, and trying to like focus on a creative way to do it, but like also like my way, you know.
Yeah.
So I think I've been getting better at that. I think that's what my intention has been. After dropping that joint, I think my intention now is still that, but also like I want to hone in on things, on concepts. I want to hone in more on concepts because usually I'm just like pulling from the space that I'm currently in at that moment when I'm writing, instead of like conceptualizing something that I would like to depict with my own words.
I'm glad you mentioned concepts. Tell me about like Sundown and like developing the ideas for that. Off the visual already, that was a striking part for me. So like,
Concepts.
yeah,
So that was cool. So we moved into the crib like almost a year ago, and I feel like Sundown has been like up until this point that whole time frame. So I knew I was still in the space where I still feel like barring out. I feel like I'm still in that space, but like I'm slowly like leaving it, just because I want to. I feel like I got to my point with Sundown, and my point being like being introspective about my experiences up until this point and what they mean, and also how they're reflective in my perspective, and like when I go out in life, like when I'm doing everyday shit, what I'm thinking about, how I'm thinking about it, and why I think about it like that. I think I've been trying to like chase that and like grab it for the last few projects I've been dropping, but this one was like the closest, just because I feel like I've come to terms like as I grow personally, like my music gets better, definitely. Like I've definitely aligned my music with my personal growth for sure. So
like over the time, like moving into here, you have a lot of collaborators and you have a lot of like, you have a good environment for creating, I think. Let's see, like, what are some of the bumps and bruises that you've encountered over that time?
over this last like year,
Yeah.
man, associations has always been like a big like topic for me and my like life path, who I'm associated with, what I'm associated with, like what ideologies I resonate with that kind of complement my space. That's always been a challenge. So like moving into here, it was kind of like a great opportunity to like get comfortable with people who I know that I fuck with in my adulthood. And that was really like the first time, well, not the first time, but the first time where it's like on me, where it's like I can't really make too many mistakes without me having to quickly like so the mistake, just because it's like life, you know. I feel like when you're in school, like growing up, like elementary school, high school type shit, it's a lot of like, and even sometimes in college, it's a lot of like bubble, but less so in college, just because like you still gotta like fend for yourself, like figure out what you gotta eat, figure out like how you're sustaining yourself, and like keeping a healthy life, keeping a healthy lifestyle pertaining to like how you want to live. But especially like growing up, I had like a lot of leeway to make mistakes, like a lot of leeway to like be associated with things that didn't necessarily benefit me, but I wasn't sure, and I had to go through it and have that experience. I feel like now it's different. Like I've had a lot of those experiences, and I'm moving more with like knowledge. So it's a lot more pressure, and pressure that I was ready for real. So associations has been a big topic for me. Also,
How do you think some of those associations like kind of helped you into making this album?
uh, it definitely like helped me become like the most comfortable with my boundaries and standing up for like what I know, I resonate with. And even in chill situations, because like as we grow up, our time becomes more important, and we have to be more intentional with our time. So I've definitely leaned on like the structures that I had within like my internal work, my boundaries and stuff to help me be more intentional, without having to make like that active decision like with my mind in the moment to be like, oh, is this who I want to fuck with? Is this where I want to be? Is this what I want to be doing? Like I can just lean on like, no, this is what I know, and then just lean on that understanding as opposed to being distracted with like all the little third dimensional distractions. So that's definitely been beneficial.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
intentionality is like, did it impact like you as a creative?
For sure. It definitely has impacted me as a creative. Like even with rollouts, for instance, like I've been getting. I feel as if you shouldn't put too much pressure on yourself to execute something to the best of your capabilities when you haven't like dibble dabble yet. I feel like it's cool to dibble dabble and figure out what you're good at and like what works for you in a somewhat unfamiliar situation before adding that internal pressure on executing it the way that you think that you can do it. Just because you can like create like a sort of like groove or vibe that you can hold on to that makes the entire process easier ultimately, as opposed to just like being so analytical or anal about the art, because at the end of the day, like the art is something that is emotionally evoking most of the time for people. Like people want to connect to that, and when you connect to things, you're using your emotions. So that vibe is important. I've tried to curate that for real. Like
Curating that groove.
yeah, that groove for real.
Yeah. What are some ways you did that?
Smoking. I be smoking a lot of weed. I feel like that's cool. Like when I be smoking weed, bro, I don't be thinking about shit that I actually genuinely don't care about because it's my thoughts. It's like these concepts like come to you in forms, and it's usually like the thought form first because it's the lightest form before you like connect to it and then see it as something that you want to resonate with or like emotionally be close to or embody. So when I be smoking weed, it's just like thoughts just be like coming and going as opposed to like coming and staying when I didn't actively make that decision. I just like passively did it.
Yeah. So like the state of like the impermanence of thoughts is like a good place for you to create in, would you say?
For sure. I think of thoughts as impermanent in general. So I definitely would think like I definitely do think that's the best space for me to think to create from, because I'm open and I can choose if I want to dwell. I'm not forced to dwell. And usually like the emotion that I've curated helps me not do that, because it's like, okay, yeah, I'm not forced to dwell because like this is what I'm on, like this is what I'm fucking with, this is what feels good to me, this is what feels right. So, but you have to have like a strong and developed intuition, and I feel like I've been trying to like curate that throughout this entire journey too, of just me like growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I got a funny one for you, right? Do you subscribe to like the rapper versus artist conversation?
What you mean by that?
Like, what would you consider yourself? How about that? In terms of those two things.
I think I do both of those things. I don't think I'm either of those things, but they're things that I participate in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm still always Jixie. So,
Because my question is like, do you ever like get to a point where you pigeonhole yourself creatively, or no?
as in, like, this is
what I'm doing, and I can't do anything else. Do you ever have those points?
Nah, I'm never in a point where I feel like I can't do anything else. I am in a point, and usually in a point where I feel like this is what I'm doing though. Like I don't have any problem like focusing on like rap right now, or like that's what I've been focusing on for the past since I've been rapping. So, but just because my focus is there doesn't mean I can't change my focus. That's how I be feeling about the raps. That's also how I've been like approaching like the raps too, just wanting to rap so much, because that's what I was fucking with the artist that I was fucking with. Like, I feel like I always want to, when I'm listening to an artist or when I'm looking at something that they created, I always want to know the space that they were in when they did it. So I feel like for me, I've never been like a super talkative person, like with my personality. So with music, rap kind of gave me an opportunity to be that and an outlet to do that. And I felt as if I wanted to go so hard with just like getting bars off, because there was so much that I saw that I thought was so important or like cool to talk about, but not necessarily like, what's it called? The consensus may not have agreed with it at that point, but like that's what I was fucking with. So I saw rap as an avenue to be like, yeah, this is where I can get that off. And I've just been going as hard with that for as long as I feel as if there's something that I directly want to speak about. And when I feel comfortable, which I'm starting to feel a little more comfortable after dropping Sundown, with the fact that like, yeah, there's things I want to speak about, presenting it gives me an opportunity to focus more on like, okay, what do I want to like create? Not that I haven't been creating, because it's all a creation, but now I can like curate like the conceptual pieces that we were talking about before.
Yeah.
It's not so much that I'm catering to, this is what I have to say, like this is what I feel like I'm always gonna have that, but now I can direct my focus to other things.
I really want to get into the album cover, bro. The album cover is fire.
Album cover is hard. Gerard did that.
Really?
Gerard was the graphic designer, put that whole thing together. I sent him like a bunch of pictures of like my childhood, like my mom, just like some old like family digital pictures that I still had, thankfully, and he went crazy with that junk. But yeah, it was all pieced together with family and kind of like my past and experiences in mind.
How did it feel to like inject that into a body of work for you?
It was mad therapeutic, because I don't really be talking about that like too much, just because it's easy to talk about that. I mean, there's so much shit that it's not easy to talk about that I would like to talk about, that family doesn't, if it gets lost in that sometimes with my music and and what I talk about. So I feel like this time I wanted to incorporate that and kind of like touch on that even with the music too. Yeah.
Tell me about like being in the studio. Like, what is that like for you, for real?
It can be different. Like, it's a lot of different. I feel like I work in my element the best when I'm just like locked in by myself in my room. Whether I'm just like pacing up and down, getting the verse together, or when I'm recording and engineering myself, just like rapping that shit. Like that's when I'm locked in for. I could be in there for like 8 hours, not even eating, just because I feel as if I'm eating the song.
Yeah.
Nothing. I don't even want to do anything else until I like, because I've gotten addicted with the feeling of like finishing or completing like these songs, so that I can hear it, so I can like these things that I was thinking about or these things that I was feeling like, what does that sound like over this beat that I was fucking with? And I really want to hear that and smoke to that shit. So I got like addicted to the feeling of like completing that. But it's not always like that either, because we be in the studio like just like in the dining room too with all the homies. So I've gotten comfortable like with that over the years. I feel like that's something that you have to get comfortable with, like as a vocal artist, just like recording around other people and being able to recreate your element in an environment that's not familiar with where you usually do that. So it's a challenge, but it's a cool challenge that like I fuck with when I do it, and I don't really like think about it too much either. Like I feel like that's like the trick too. Just like do what you usually do, and then sooner or later you'll find a feeling that you're familiar with, and then just carry on with that. Mm-hmm. So it's cool.
All right. There's a kid with ashy kneecaps. He's got a basketball in his right hand.
Oh, he from the DMV. For sure.
And in the left hand, he's got his phone out. He's playing Jixie.
Tight.
Out his speaker backpack.
Okay. Okay.
What are you saying to him?
Okay, I fuck with that. That's what I'm saying with him. That's what I'm saying to him. Like, I'm like, damn, what you know about Jixie? That's what I'm saying. I fuck with that.
But if he's like, yo, I want to be a rapper too. What are you saying to him?
Do that shit. Like, you be like, start, like that's what's up. Like, yeah, do that shit. Like, you start recording yourself. Like, start writing and recording yourself. I'm encouraging that nigga, bro. Like, because it's doable. Yeah.
Did you have people like that when you were younger getting into music?
Nah. But I didn't necessarily need it though. So I missed it, but I didn't need it though. And that kind of helped me like have like a lot of conviction with my direction, because it was always for me first.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is there anything you wanna give to the people?
Shit. Keep God in your life. I'm not talking about no man in the sky either. Just all possibilities. Anything is possible. And be yourself and figure out like who you are. Because that will be a question that you always have to answer, regardless of what you do. And it doesn't matter what you do. You just gotta do it. For real.
40 amps. Jix.
Trouble.